यूट्यूब पे देखो चालू है क्या?
क्या? हाँ, इसमें है।
देखो
चलो।
अभी यूट्यूब पे जाना पड़ेगा।
सही। तो फटाफट ऐसे कर देते हैं। जीवन मित्र को सर्च करें तो
उधर उनका मैंने सब्सक्राइब करके रखा।
सब्सक्रिप्शन में डायरेक्ट जाते हैं जीवन मित्र तो लाइव स्ट्रीम में हाँ लाइव हाँ
फोन करके रखना पड़ेगा।
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
A very good morning to esteemed academicians, researchers and participants. Welcome to the online international conference on latest multidisciplinary trends in technologies 2024 hosted by JM EduTech LLP. Today, emerging trends and advancements in technology. Let me introduce JM EduTech LLP. JM EduTech LLP, a pioneer in education, technology, training, and consultancy, has been at the forefront of research collaboration, organizing FDPs, training programs on skill-based technologies, NAC and NBA consultation, IPR filing, and conference organization. JM EduTech LLP expertise spans across artificial intelligence, robotics, AWS, wireless communications, Internet of Things, cloud computing, machine learning, and many more. We are elated to announce that out of 150 submissions, 45 papers have been selected by our esteemed review committee for presentation. Congratulations to all the participants for their outstanding contributions. I'm honored to share that Dr. Rajiv Iyer and Dr. Purnima Mahesh have joined us as conference chair. They have a rich experience in this field. They have authored books and research papers in the field of cloud computing, artificial intelligence, antenna, to name a few. Esteemed participants, it is with great pleasure and anticipation that we extend a special invitation to Dr. Rajiv Iyer to share his expertise on generative AI as the keynote speaker. Dr. Iyer, your knowledge in the field of generative AI will help participants gain insights in the field. We are excited to explore the field of generative AI under your guidance. Your keynote address promises to enlighten, engage, and inspire us all, offering a glimpse into the future of artificial intelligence. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Dr. Rajiv Iyer to the virtual stage as he shares his insights on generative AI to ignite our curiosity into this fascinating field. We are confident that your session will be extremely beneficial. Over to you, Dr. Rajiv Iyer.
Thank you, ma'am, for the kind introduction. So, in the past few years, we have been hearing, and most of us have even used generative AI, and we are using it on a daily basis, is what I assume. There are some who might be just aware of this field, but they might not have used it or used it to the fullest. So this session basically tries to introduce generative AI pertaining to Google Cloud, because Google is also one of the important platforms who have got into generative AI, although a bit late, but then their products are also significant. This session in no way is affiliated to Google. In my personal capacity, I am part of the Google Developers India Education Program, and it is in this respect we are having this particular presentation. So let us first understand what is generative AI and how it is significant and important to us. So generative AI is the branch of artificial intelligence or AI that creates original content based on the existing data patterns. So this particular model, we can call it as machine learning, or even better, it is a deep learning model which has been trained on huge data set. And now when we query in the form of text, we can get some content which is original in nature. Now, what kind of content are we talking about? So we can have text generation, images generated, music generated, audio generated, and even video generated content. Now, these are some of the tools which are mentioned on the slide. So Palm, Stable Diffusion, Muse.net. These are some of the tools which are used, but the field of generative AI is vast, and we are seeing new tools coming up every other day, and many of these tools are performing really well. Some of these are completely free to use, and some of these follow the freemium model where a certain part is free and the rest needs subscription. Now, the applications of generative AI is something we are all still figuring out. The most common ones is where you are able to generate basic text, images, and so on. You are able to summarize your data. You are able to do your day-to-day office work in a more efficient manner using these tools. And one who is having knowledge and skills to use it, really we are able to get a lot of work done as compared to before the age of generative AI. Now, if we talk about the industrial revolution, so currently we are in the age of AI. We started in the 17th century with steam power, followed by electricity in the 18th century. The 19th century was about information technology, and today we are in the age of AI. Now, let us understand how generative AI is different from the classical machine learning approach. Now, in the classical machine learning approach, we collect data and we train and evaluate this data on the ML model for a particular use case. Once the model is trained, we deploy it to address any specific business application or a problem. Now, this particular trained model uh, used to be customized, so it corresponds to a single use case. So we have seen applications like face recognition, object detection, and so on, where we have used basic ML models. So that is the base or the basic or the classical machine learning approach. Now, generative AI happens to be a paradigm shift from the traditional machine learning model, where we are building now something known as foundational models to revolutionize the AI. Now, this foundational model is basically having a one-to-many relationship. So it may not be for a particular use case. So you can build a generative AI for multiple use cases. And the versatility of this particular model is where we can have tasks like summarization, notes preparation, sentiment extraction, translation, and so on. And the applications are plenty. We are still exploring them. Now, from a development standpoint, so we develop a single application to achieve multiple tasks instead of separate applications for each task. Although now we are doing separate applications for each task precisely when we are able to customize the GPT. But the general ones are used for multiple tasks. Now, when we talk about generative AI, we need to understand something about large language models. So this is a term also used along with generative AI. Now, these are machine learning models that can recognize and predict human languages. So this we are talking about only the text-based generation. Now, these models have been trained on a petabyte scale using data sets resulting in hundreds to billions of parameters, and they are normally pre-trained on a large corpus of data. Okay, so certain of these tools like Llama, Palm, GPT-3, and so on. Now we are also having GPT-4. Now, if you talk about Google, it started its journey of generative AI with transformers in 2017. Then around 2018, they had BERT, which was the first language model, and it was open sourced by Google. Then in 2019, there was text-to-text transformer, T5, followed by Lambda, that is language model for dialogue applications in 2020, which was again published by Google. Then Palm came into picture in 2021, which is a diffusion model. followed by Calm in 2022, and the most commonly known is Bard in 2023. Now, Bard particularly runs on Vertex AI, and in 2024, we have the Google Gemini, which is a much more improved version. Now, what has happened because of this generative AI is that earlier, whenever we used to talk about machine learning and things like that, there was a huge crowd which was left out of this particular technology for the simple reason that they did not know programming. Now, this entry barrier has now completely gone off. And now we are in an age where even if you are able to know any language, let's say English. So English is one example, but it is not the only language. There are many other languages through which you can communicate with your GPTs. So it has broken the barrier that one should know programming to use these tasks. Okay, so because of which what has happened is now there are a large number of creative people who are able to use it very easily, and there is a whole field now which is generating, which is known as prompt engineering, and we already have job roles in the market which says that we need prompt engineers. There are certifications, job roles, which basically mean that just by knowing simple English and few techniques, you are able to run or use these model to generate text, audio, video, music, so on. So your prompt is nothing but your text input that you use to run this particular model. And what to text is your prompt design or prompt engineering. Now, when we learn about prompt engineering, there are a lot of techniques of prompt engineering, some of which are mentioned in this particular slide. So zero shot prompt simply means that you are just giving a prompt to your generative AI without any context, and you may or may not get a suitable or an expected response. The other technique is one shot prompt, where the model is provided with one example to the large language model to give it some guidance on what kind of response you want. So say, for example, if you are or if you require something related to marketing your product, so you will first mention saying that this is the product I want to sell. Let's say I want to sell a remote car, and these are some of the features of my remote car. And now you give me a pitch as to how do I market. Okay, so you're giving some context to it. Now, when you give some context and you get the response, it may so happen that the response you got is not very proper and you were expecting something better. So you can further prompt it to optimize your response. This is called few shot prompts. Now, these are some of the examples, but then in practice, there are lot many techniques in prompt engineering. It's a whole course on its own. We have techniques like chain of thought prompting and so on, and many advanced techniques do exist. But as an introduction, you understand that if you want to be better at the usage of generative AI, you should be very good in something known as prompt engineering. A very simple example, let's say if you want to generate some image apart from text. Okay, so when you are expecting some image, you need to give or you need to have very precise information regarding, let's say, the background of the image, the color tone of the image, the ambience, what do you expect. So all these things one needs to express in terms of language. Of course, you have one shot and few shot, but then the whole point of using generative AI is that you should end up saving time. So if you keep on doing multi-shot prompts, you will end up wasting time. So learning prompt engineering now has become very important in that particular context. Now, talking about the cloud machine learning APIs. So in the previous cloud machine learning APIs, that is before the generative AI, it was limited to specific applications and tied to one task per API, which we have discussed before as well. So you had separate APIs for summarization, separate API for sentiment analysis, translation, and so on. Now with foundational models, what has happened? You just have one model, foundational model, which is able to do multiple tasks. So using the same chat GPT, you can do summarization, you can do sentiment analysis, you can do translation, and many more with one single tool or model. That is the uh, paradigm shift which has happened with respect to foundational models. And as I said, it has reduced the entry barrier for businesses, particularly businesses, very small businesses which do not have the resources to hire third party for marketing, to hire exclusive personnel for marketing and other such tasks, can now easily do their maximum work using generative AI.
उनका कंस्ट्रक्शन एक प्रोजेक्ट चल रहा है
So, so that companies are able to build their business, their applications, and they do not focus on training of the
इसमें बोला हॉल
models.
आपका इतना बड़ा आएगा बोले और सर
However,
सामने जो
now
बेडरूम
you
दिख रहा
can
है
also
और राइट वाले बेडरूम से
customize a particular
उसके बैक में
generative AI
किचन
model, which is customized to
मगर वो
your
नहीं है
need as
एक्चुअली
well,
होने का
if you have
लेकिन
the technical
लेआउट में
resources to
हमसे
do
वो
it.
देखना है वो बोले सर 85% हो गया है एक महीने में हो जाएगा जब भी
Now,
आपका विजिट होगा
particularly Google
तब
Cloud
देखिए फिनिश प्रोडक्ट
is having a lot of
अच्छा
solutions
बनेगा
which is ready for enterprise
लेकिन आपने
adoption.
मैनेज नहीं करना
They are secure
एग्जैक्टली सेम
and
है
they generally don't use customer data
नहीं है
to improve the foundation models or access or store
बाकी
it.
सब बातें उनका परमिशन और ये सब
Now, what are the generative AI products for which are coming out of Google? So there is
अच्छा
a
लगा
generative app builder
लेकिन आई एम
which
ईगर टू
offers
कि
out of the
मैं
box solution
थोड़ा
for
प्लास्टिक लेने की
search and
बात करूँ या
conversational
फिनिक्स
experience.
वगैरह लगने के बाद में
You can build
और सामने वो
your
प्लास्टिक
apps on
गाड़ी
top
लगने
of
के बाद में ऐसा
the
लगा
Vertex AI,
मस्त लगेगा यार
which is providing us an end-to-end machine
लोगों
learning
को अच्छा लगेगा
platform.
हायरिंग का अच्छा लगेगा
Then development can
जितना भी
be
जाना कि बहुत
done
बहुत
securely. So there is a lot of stress which is given on security and production ready environment. And you can have state of the art
देखो बोला वर्ड
models
से तुम समझ
with
जाओगे मैं क्या बोलना
enterprise
चाहता
security and
हूँ
deployment
वर्ड में
support.
पकड़ के बैठ जाओ
So building your generative AI applications has become very easy these days. Now you can generate specific applications depending on your business needs, depending on your academic needs, with use cases ranging from a startup to a multi-billion dollar company. It can still, you can still build applications for the same. Now, earlier, uh, developing any application used to be a very complicated task. Now, with Gen AI, that time has cut down a long time, sorry, has been cut down to such an extent that you can quickly develop and deploy applications and start using it for businesses. Now, because of this, your traditional way of software development has undergone a lot of change. And now we have heard of even tools which can do software development to a great extent. So tools like Devin, Devika, These are all now becoming a reality. They are just started to come up, and it will take some time to optimize. Now, the core of all these services, when you talk about Google, happens to be the Vertex AI integration. So Vertex is the machine learning service or platform of Google, and it offers generative AI integration. So you have, or you can have developers who can use this Vertex AI and build your generative AI applications on top of it. It will be secure and production ready. This is the general understanding of how the Vertex AI looks like. So at the bottom, you can see it is machine learning and data science. Then you have all the managerial tools, workflows, and infrastructure. On top of it, you have the machine learning platform. And on top of that, you build your generative AI applications by using prompt design, tuning, fine tuning, and so on. Then assisting that are the models, open source models, and task specific APIs, including AutoML and foundational models. So this is a brief or the very simplistic explanation of how your Vertex AI is used to build your generative AI applications. Now, there is a whole GitHub repository of generative AI by Google, which will have a lot of documentation related to this particular products. And particularly when you want to build things on top of it, a very important tool is LangChain. So using this LangChain, you can really build these applications of the models which have been open source for us. So now, earlier products were proprietary, where you just have had access as an end user, where you used to log in and just use the tool. Now you are having the whole source code available for you, and one can further fine tune it and use these models, customize it, and use it for your benefit. Okay, so then this is the link where you can learn more about generative AI. There are lots of freely available courses by Google on generative AI. If somebody wants to start really learning about this particular field.
Freely available.
Okay, now let us explore some of the popular tools of generative AI.
Right?
So ChatGPT we are all aware of. Then by a company called Anthropic, we have Claude 3. This is also a very promising Gen AI tool. And it is supposedly better than the GPT-4. Okay, there are three models under this Claude 3. There is Haiku, which is free, then Sonnet and Opus. Opus is paid. And if you compare Opus, it is slightly better than the GPT-4. Then you have Google's Gemini, which also is really good. Then by X, we are having Grok. Okay, it is just an early access. It is still not fully available. Then if you talk about images, there has been a lot of deepfake images, deepfake videos, which has made news for all the wrong reasons. But then we need to understand that these do have lot of real life applications if one wishes to explore from a business standpoint, from an academic standpoint. So that's where the field is as on today. And I'll just provide you with one last resource.
Sir, your audio is not coming. I think you are mute. Sir, Rajiv sir? Sir, you have to unmute yourself. Sir? Rajiv sir? Dr. Rajiv, you have to unmute yourself. तुम्हारे फोन देना बेटा
Okay, sorry, I was muted. So I was just saying that this is a Sora video which has been officially released by OpenAI, and you can see the quality of videos which can be generated, which can be really huge in the field of animation, movie making, digital marketing, and so on. So we are viewing this video. So the texts which are coming in between are the prompts, and you will see that the prompts are even 1 page long. So it's not just one single line or things like that. Pages, it is 1 page long prompt, because there is a lot of detailing needed in terms of what do you exactly expect in the video. So to describe that, there is the prompts are now getting lengthier.
वरुण मुझे फोन दे दे प्लीज.
So you can look at the detailing in all these videos and the quality. So that is where we are in
वरुण.
this particular field. And okay, so you have seen the capabilities of these tools, and the only thing which worries is one has to be very ethical in the usage of these tools for the benefit of humankind rather than the misuse of it. So with that, I would like to end my talk. And if you have any questions, you are free to ask. Over to the organizers.
If any of the participant has any doubt related to Gen AI, he or she may ask the same. Thank you.
Any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Rajiv Iyer, for your enlightening session. I hope the participants would have gained valuable insights out of it. Let me talk about our further agenda. Our conference sessions will be guided by Ms. Shah, Mr. Narayan, and Mr. Balasubramaniam, who will ensure engaging discussions and insightful interactions throughout the conference. The event will feature 6 diverse tracks. Each session will conclude with remarks, and all participants will receive certificate post-conference. Now I invite Ms. Swati Pawar to present her paper, and next presentation will be from Ms. Anita Raj Lunewal.
Am I audible? Hello, ma'am.
Yes, you are audible.
So, good morning, everyone. Greetings of the day. Myself, Shehbaz Hasware. I'm currently pursuing a Bachelor of Engineering at Finolex Academy of Management and Technology, Ratnagiri. Along with my project guide, Professor Swati Pawar, and my teammates, Atharva Kinsley, Aslam Mashalkar, and Pranit Salunke, have worked on the project comment toxicity detection using CNN, which is convolution neural network, which is a deep learning model. So I am here presenting my screen. Is my screen visible? Hello? Hello?
Yes, yes.
So our topic name is comment toxicity detection using